We are live, guys. I'm saying Mr. Blitztech.
Raven the GS.
Joe, one further to Cyber Nerds.
And we're back. Death Note, episode 9 and 10.
Yeah, not bad.
I can't believe my son is looking at those magazines.
Hey, Light! Come on! Dinner's ready!
I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left. I'll take a potato chip and eat it. Witness to my alibi is L himself. I really hope you're not saying what you think I'd want to hear just to get some apples. Whoa, hold it right there. I just flew out and checked a 100-meter radius around you and there was no one there. So yeah, for the last time, I'm sure, okay? All right. You had me looking all over your cameras, telling me that I can't even eat apples in the house anymore. It's not right. Make sure you eat the core as well. You know, I might actually write your name in my death note and kill you, just like that. I wouldn't laugh if I were you. Right. That reminds me, I've got one finishing touch left to add.
Hey, Ryuzuki.
Yes?
I've been thinking about the purse snatcher and the embezzler's heart attacks 2 days ago. It seems my family couldn't have had any knowledge of them before they died. Shouldn't that resolve any doubts you have?
I don't think there's any way he could have arranged their deaths without having seen the broadcast first. You're watching TV. I made sure to kill criminals whose names and faces were broadcast when I didn't have access to TV or the internet. But there's a chance I'll look even more suspicious if only these lesser criminals end up dying while I'm not receiving information. In other words, if I kill other petty criminals whose names and faces are broadcast as I watch TV, I won't draw unnecessary attention to myself. We will remove the cameras and wiretaps. All that and we still don't have any suspects.
It's okay, Matsuda. We'll have to pursue other leads, but we'll get them.
Please don't get the wrong idea. I only said that we were unable to reveal anything suspicious based on our surveillance. A mass murderer who calls himself Kira exists somewhere. I'm sure of it, and I will catch him. But I can't count on Kira making any mistakes. Hey, Light, I just checked and all the cameras have been removed. All of them, every single one. Hello? Are you listening to me? Hey, Light! Oh, good point. We still don't know if they've removed all the wiretaps from the house. I suppose this means I'm no longer a suspect. Once I get rid of L, Kira will be one step closer to becoming the god of the new world.
Light, hurry up. You don't want to be late. Oh, do your best.
I know you don't need it, but good luck!
I really don't see why you two are making such a big deal out of this. I'm relieved we don't have to deal with wiretaps in the house anymore. Well, it's nice to know that one cause of stress was resolved before my exam, and once I get into university, I'll have a lot more room to act as Kira. Then I can focus on finding out who L really is.
You there! The exam will be starting in 10 minutes, so you better hurry up!
It's fine. I plan to get here 3 minutes before the test. I hate waiting. I'm here too early. Well, confident. You're a college student now. That's kind of exciting. I'm filled with joy.
Now for the freshman address, freshman representative, Light Yagami.
Yes. Ooh, wow.
And freshman representative, Hideki Ryuga.
Oh,
Is that Hideki Ryuga, the pop idol?
that guy?
The student who scores highest on the test is supposed to give the speech, right? I guess both of them must have had the high score this year.
I heard they both had perfect scores for all subjects.
Seriously? It's hard to believe there are actually people like that.
Light Yagami. Your father is Chief Soichiro Yagami of the NPA. Your respect for your father's matched only by your strong sense of justice. Who the hell is this guy? You're planning to join the police agency when you graduate, and you've already got experience, seeing as you've helped the police solve a number of cases in the past. Now you're showing an interest in the Kira case. I'm impressed by your abilities and your sense of justice. If you promise not to tell anyone about this, I have important information concerning the Kira investigation that I'd like to share with you. Where's this coming from? This is pretty extreme. Stop. This isn't good. Don't act surprised. On the off chance that he really is L, I have to act how Soichiro Yagami's son, Light Yagami, would act in this situation. There'd be no reason for him to be afraid. If you are who you say you are, then you have nothing but my respect and admiration. Thank you. The reason I chose to reveal my identity to you is because I think you could be of some help to us on the Kira investigation. If what he's saying is true, it probably means he's already shown his face to my father. What now? I might accidentally picture the face of Ryuga the pop star and end up killing him instead. And if this guy doesn't die, he'll know for a fact that I'm Kira. Is he really L? Does he already suspect that I'm Kira? It's hard to say how much he knows, but I must be under
What's his
suspicion.
problem with shoes, fam? I like shoes.
What other reason could he have for telling Soichiro Yagami's son that he's L? Does this mean that he's still suspicious of the people that Ray Penbro was investigating before he died?
I didn't think the ceremony would be so interesting.
They say he got serious money. He's the top of the class. Where's the justice?
He's got best of both worlds. He's got the brains and the bread, innit? Well, that man might have half of the brain, but no bread. Speak.
Hey, welcome home, Mr. Toho.
So I'm guessing it would have come from your parents or something. Then you're a genius, so at least.
It's hard to have both, man. Especially when you have bread.
Damn it! He got me! What do you mean? Damn, L! I've never been so humiliated in my life!
Hey, why don't you just do the Shinigami ideal? Then you should have no problem killing him, right?
And what good will Shinigami eyes do me if this is just a trap? If I kill him and it turns out he's not really L, that would be like announcing to the real L that I am Kira.
Sorry.
Do nothing, bro.
You can't help looking, but you can't help it.
That's why he's done.
This is
Keep killing
perfect.
people, bro. Just
There's no reason
allow
for me
L,
to be
like.
worried. After all, this is proof that they don't have anything on me yet. So this whole thing is nothing more than a contest between Al and me. A match of wits. On the surface, we're two friendly classmates, but in reality, we'll actually be investigating each other. This is interesting, Ryuga. If it's my friendship you want, I'll gladly accept it. In time, I'll earn your trust. And once you've told me what I want to know, there'll be no point keeping you alive. Then I'll kill you. With my hands if I have to.
Oh my god!
What happened to the book?
I don't remember that line.
Jeez.
Half the book, you know.
Just keep going. Just get some water.
Listen to his hands.
I have to admit, I was
Wow.
surprised, Ryuga. I never thought you'd ask me to play tennis as a way to get to know each other. Is it a problem for you? Not at all. But when you first invited me to play, did you know how good I was?
Yes, I'll be fine though. It's been a while, but at one time I was actually the British junior champion.
If I ask him if he's British, would he think I'm trying to find out more
British
about him
junior.
because I'm Kira? Well, give her a
Interesting.
try. Ryuga, were you raised in the UK?
I lived in England for about 5 years when I was younger, but save your breath. Nothing in that story would reveal El's true identity, I promise you.
Oh, is that so?
Well, since it's our first match, why don't we just play a single set? First one to 6?
That's fine by me.
What do you mean you're not at liberty to say? I'm very sorry, sir. We're under orders from L not to discuss the case with anyone, including you. I'm not asking for details here, just what you're doing and where. I'm very sorry, sir.
And we're incompetent? Do you have any idea how many people are left at Task Force headquarters these days? If you're concerned with public opinion, then you'll want to suppress the fact that most of our detectives would rather let a serial killer roam free than risk their lives. Please excuse me.
And just like that, we've got an umpire and a line judge.
Oh, I won't believe this. I thought I'd heard the name Light Yagami somewhere before, so I checked. He was the 0203 junior high tennis champion. Apparently, during the third-year awards ceremony, he announced that he was hanging up his racket. And I guess he hasn't played competitively since.
Hey, what about my Ryuga? Don't tell me you haven't noticed him holding his own against this former junior high champ.
And then you're going to try and trap me by getting me to say something that only Kira would know.
However, I'm sure you'll tell me you need to know if you can trust me first. And of course, the only way to win your trust will be to share what I know about Kira.
If you want me to discuss Kira with you, it only makes sense that I'd want to ask for proof that you are in charge of the investigation. And more importantly, that you are really ill as you say you are.
So it goes without saying that the first thing you're going to want from me is...
some kind of confirmation from a third party that you really are L. Which means
We'll have to go to Task Force headquarters.
it's quite the preemptive move on his part. Got me.
It's been getting you.
This coffee shop is one of my favorites in the area, and if we sit here, there's no chance of anyone overhearing us.
Thanks for showing me this place. I can see why you like it.
Not to mention, we're so out of the way here, no one's gonna give you a hard time about the way you sit.
I don't sit like this because I want to. I have to sit like this. You see, if I were to sit normally, my deductive skills would immediately be reduced by roughly 40%. So, what was it you wanted to ask me?
Right.
Really?
I'm sure that can wait until you're convinced that I'm not Kira. So
That's
please,
interesting.
let's talk about whatever you want to.
You're under no obligation to do this, but would you mind submitting yourself to a test of your deductive reasoning skills?
Sure, why not? If I ignored this fact and was still able to come up with the phrase, L, do you know, gods of death love apples, what would that mean? Clearly, if I read it the way Kira intended on my first attempt, I'd only look more suspicious. But the fact that I'm able to solve this silly code isn't enough on its own to prove that I'm Kira. It would be quite amazing to learn that not only could Kira kill others, but could also control his victims' actions.
Never even considered that there might be a fourth. What do you make of that?
Damn him! This wasn't just about gauging my deductive reasoning skills. He wanted to see what my reaction would be. If I keep falling for his tricks, I'll be playing right into his hands. Well, you got me there. I didn't think of that. But it's a bit of a double-edged sword. The more impressive my answers, the more of a suspect I become.
Yes, it's about 3% now. However, it's made me that much more determined to work with you in this investigation. You see, I'm in a position where even if you are Kira, it would still be to my benefit to have you working alongside us. Do you know why I'd say that?
If I cooperate with you, there's a chance I can help the investigation to move forward. And if I'm Kira, I might reveal myself. In other words, whether I'm Kira or not, you stand to gain either way. It's a very smart move on your part. But I think you might be getting the wrong idea. It's true that I do have an interest in the Kira case, and yes, detective work is a hobby of mine. But I know that I'm not Kira, and I certainly don't want to be killed by him. Besides, what proof have you been able to give me that you yourself aren't Kira? I mean, it hardly seems fair for just one of us to be investigated, wouldn't you say? At this point, neither of us can prove that we're not Kira.
I don't remember saying you couldn't meet anyone from Task Force headquarters to verify my identity. I am currently working alongside your father, as well as several other senior detectives from the NPA. Now, if I understand you correctly, and I take you to Task Force headquarters, you'll help us with the investigation.
Oh, there goes mine.
Yeah?
Ryuzaki, I have some bad news.
Light, your father is...
Light, it's your... My father. He had a heart attack.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Have them call home if you need me to bring anything. Light, you take care of him, okay?
Sure. So the doctors think stress was the only cause?
That's correct. This man is L. To protect his identity, we on the task force refer to him as Ryuzaki. But make no mistake, it's him.
This guy is the real L. My father wouldn't lie. The very same man who's been controlling the police up to this point. If I get rid of him and the rest of the investigative team...
So, Ryuzaki, now that you've had the chance to talk to my son, is he cleared as a suspect?
Wow.
When I say I suspect him, you should know it's very minor. We've gone over this, but I'll explain it again. Not long ago, Kira killed 12 FBI agents who'd come to Japan to assist us. Ray Pember exhibited unusual behavior before he died.
I understand. And I was one of the people Ray Pember was investigating before he died. It only makes sense I'd be a suspect. Nope, to be more precise, there's no one else you could suspect.
And to the point.
Ryuga, I'd like to help with the investigation. My father has erased any doubts I might have had regarding your true identity. Also, I'd like nothing more than to catch Kira so I can prove once and for all that I'm not him.
No, Light.
Besides, don't you remember my promise? That if something ever happened to you, I would find Kira and make sure he gets executed.
I refuse to believe that my son could turn out to be Kira.
This doesn't seem like an act to me. Or if it is, it's too cheesy.
Light, listen to me. Kira is pure evil. We can all agree on that. But recently I've started thinking of this whole situation in a different way.
It was one of the worst feelings ever.
What if you were to lock me up for a month in a place with no TV or any other kind of access to the outside world and keep a constant watch over me?
Would any normal person be willing to go to such extreme measures to clear their name?
I'm happier than I've ever been, all thanks to this power.
So about to ask him
I'm
for the
going to
thing.
create a perfect world.
Honestly, I could care less whether you feel cursed or happy to have a notebook. I leave that sentimental crap to you humans.
Jeez.
But normally humans who come into contact with a Shinigami have nothing but misfortune.
That's interesting. But I have no intentions of repeating that pattern.
Well, I hope you're right about that.
What is this crap? Don't tell me this is your idea of a proposal. Listen, you people must think that just mentioning Kira's name is enough to get us the ratings we need, huh?
This is for you.
What is it? So who is this from? Huh? Now this is more like it. This is what I call a story. I'm so excited I feel like I'm having a heart attack here.
That's the wrong anime.
Damn it.
Yeah. Since you got the wrong one, you can start off your thoughts on these two episodes.
I like these two episodes. Just especially the direction that they've gone in now. How L is, I don't know if it's a trump card or not. But basically, he's like, if I go directly towards light, show myself. Like, how can he then show his hand being Kira, or continue being light, obviously as a student, and just the way he's continuously. In fact, the what I like the most about just these two is just they're kind of the same, but cut from like, or is it the same or cut from different cloths? Is that the same? Yeah. Like obviously they're both really good at tennis, got a perfect score on the test, but yet you could just tell they're just completely different people despite almost being like almost like the same person. So I just like those kind of differences they bring up.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much actually the same person. It's just their methods of justice are different. Get me? I like these 2 episodes as well, and I remember in like a previous review, me asking like, "Yo, how does this last 70 episodes?" And now I kind of understand. This makes sense for like them two to be interacting, but for me, like on just another note, I feel like I'd be interesting to see what L's doing other than investigating Light, because obviously if he's like, oh, there's a 5% chance that it's you, what's the other percentage chance for the other suspects? Is that 5% actually true? Because I would like to see if he's investigating them as hard as he's investigating Light, which I think is really interesting. I think Light is kind of dumb, like he's really smart, but like I just feel like he's making dumb moves. I don't know. In fact, maybe not even making dumb moves. He's having dumb thoughts. Like whenever L does something, his natural response, I feel like, is quite dumb. Like,
you know, with that, yeah, I think because L is less emotional, and he's letting his emotions get the best out of him, because now he's having all this conflict, and maybe because he's never in his whole entire life came across someone who's nice like him, like academically, like clearly in tennis he's just as good as him. So is that kind of having an effect in his mental?
I mean, I wouldn't think so, because I would think like, if you're as smart as someone as L is or Light is, you don't ever perceive your opponent to be less smart than you. To be honest, you'd probably think they're smarter than you, and that's what would make you play the game the way you played the game. Because if Light just felt like L wasn't up to par, he wouldn't be thinking this deeply. He wouldn't be getting emotional over it. So that to me says no. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're an intelligent person, you would believe your opponent is smarter than you until you beat them. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you beat them, then you're like, no, you wasn't. Like that is the game for me. Like the way I understand it, huh?
And that's what I think. Well, that's where L's coming from, because I think he does believe Light is almost smart, if not smart, or smarter than him.
See,
that's why it's almost like I've got to do these check moves first.
I agree,
and he's constantly like checking him, but
they're both doing it.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. Like they're both playing that exact same game. Like the tennis game was really interesting to me because it's like he's like, well, if I win, does that mean like does this help with the profiling? But then L's on the other side, like most people are going to want to win a game if they can win a game. So it means nothing. Like, do you know? See, that is the game. What I'm talking about, where he's thinking about, oh, is he thinking this? Is he smarter than me here? Does me winning here mean this? And he's like, me winning here doesn't mean this, but we can still do this just to see the outcome. Like, that is the level, like the intelligence level we're talking about. And this is what I'm saying. I think like Light is moving a bit dumb. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like he thinks dumb things, and this may just be like the writing. Obviously, we're watching a show. Do you get what I'm saying? Like in real life, it might be very different, but like we're watching a show, so maybe they're just giving us those thoughts of his, just because they've got to give us something. Because he's having these thoughts, but then he's not necessarily acting on these thoughts. Like there was never like an early precursor to the thing he said to his dad, which L just said was, oh, that was cheesy. Like they never let us hear his thoughts before he said those things. So I do feel like, I mean, obviously the show's good, but they're also manipulating us in the thoughts they're giving us and the thoughts they're not giving us. So I feel like that is interesting. But I do like that, finding out more about L, about him, like obviously he's way younger than I thought he was. He's going to university and all of that. So yeah, man, I thought these were 2 good episodes, and I like the direction that we're going in. But I want to see more of L investigating other people.
Speaking of direction, there's one thing that's it's baffling me a little bit, how the dad all of a sudden so in on letting L investigate his son. Like, I don't know if that's something. I mean, it's not like they can, like, later on they can give us flashbacks on why they're doing this. But I just think like this is it's like 10 steps ahead of what we left it last time. Like, firstly, like, okay, like, look, your son is around you. You're the leading thing here. Data was leaked. We go investigate this. that's cool. His dad understands it, even though his colleagues were like, yo, this is preposterous, like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, this is our chief, like, we never do that. But himself, like, agreed to it. They pulled the cameras, all the mics. They've seen it, and now that he was like, oh, yeah, we can take the cameras out. But now he's taking a step further to, like, engage with my man. But the dad is just like, it's so cool about it with no questions, no nothing. Which then I start asking, yo, is the whole hospital scene real? Is that something that they're planning just to get the reactions from Light?
I mean, for me, when that question, it's like, from all the hoops that these men had to jump through to just get onto the task force, I would think that, firstly, the dad just trusts L. Secondly, if the dad wholeheartedly believes his son's innocent, it's no issue at all. And then this is also why we need to see L's investigation into the other suspects.
Right.
Because if we saw that, then this wouldn't be a big deal. It wouldn't be a question.
But right now, it's so focused on him. Like,
but
we're not seeing.
But this
the other suspects.
This is what I was saying to begin with. With like, we need to see that. But if you're not going to show that, then I'm still cool with just suspension of disbelief that the dad just thinks his son's innocent. So he's like, listen, investigate everyone equally. And as a good police chief, and the same guy who's going to his head and saying, you man are trying to put it on us when you man ain't even doing, them man don't even want to do the job. He seems like the kind of guy that like would let you investigate his son regardless, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, his dad was saying, yo, this Kira guy's evil. So yeah, he wouldn't believe he's raising evil in his house. So yeah, bruv, investigate my son, spend time with him. And his son's bare smart and can be a police officer and all of this stuff. So he could probably help in the investigation. But I did like the dad saying that, yo, brother, go and finish the police course and then come and help the investigation. Which was funny to me because it was like, raw. Light's reaction was like, yo, that's going to take years. Then I was like, raw, the dad believes it's going to take years to catch my man. Do you know what I'm saying? But then obviously, I don't feel like the dad's intelligence level is where L and Lights is, knowing that, yo, we're way closer to this thing than everyone else knows.
There's only one thing that they've planted a seed there that the dad might have some sort of doubt. Is that when they showed the scene right at the beginning, where he's watching, reading, whatever he's doing with the adult magazine, and he's like, yo, I can't believe my son's over here watching this thing. Like, do you know what I mean? He has this in his possession and is actively, because obviously we've seen it before that he does these things on purpose, and that's now it's like, maybe I might not know my son as well as I thought I did. Do you know what I'm saying? It was just this kid comes in the yard, goes straight upstairs to the bedroom and studies all day, all night long, and until he has to go to school. So that could be a little seed they just planted that may reveal later on as well. But other than that, any other thoughts on this episode?
You still are funny, man.
Listen,
throwing arms, you know.
L just kills me. Yeah, man. I just love the whole like mental battle they're going against each other. That's such a cool thing.
Yeah, because obviously for me, I don't see this anime as often as you see fighting.
Yeah.
So these guys have
this
like
is their
a mental.
This is their fight. This is the fight we're used to on.
And that's why I love the tennis match so much, because he's thinking one thing, he smacks it back, and then you're seeing the other guy's thoughts as he's like the rally the thing. I thought that was, for me, it's like one of the best things in this whole episode.
That's that for this week's episode. Jump in the comment section below, let us know your thoughts. And other than that, I'm Raven GS.
Sam, Mr. Blipstick.
Joe on for the Cyber Nerds.
Peace.
What happened?
Nothing happened. Nothing except for the war. Too many people died in this land. All that pain forced me to grow up.
What does that mean?
That even innocent, foolish children will grow up in the face of pain.